Right now at noon, the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department receives a $250,000 grant. We break down how the funds will be used.
And it's hot and muggy. Some of us got some rain. It's a little cooler for now. We've got more storm chances on the way, though. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, details on a deadly crash on the Will Rogers Turnpike.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. New at noon today, a historic appointment in Missouri. Governor Mike Kehoe has named the state's first woman attorney general. Catherine L. Hanaway will be the next attorney general for the state of Missouri. The announcement was made today at the Missouri State Capitol. It follows the appointment of the current attorney general, Andrew Bailey, as the co-deputy director of the FBI. Hanaway will assume her new role on September 8th as the 45th AG of Missouri. Well, a Galena man is arrested for sex crimes against a child. The Cherokee County Sheriff says earlier this month his office was made aware of a case involving inappropriate relations between an adult and a minor victim. Cherokee County then launched an investigation and took their findings to the county attorney's office. The Galena man, 45-year-old Teddy Boggle, was arrested and taken into Cherokee County Jail. Boggle is booked for aggravated criminal sodomy and aggravated indecent liberties with a minor awaiting formal charges. A crash on the Will Rogers Turnpike near Miami claims the life of an Oklahoma Turnpike Authority worker and puts another in the hospital. The crash happened around 2 yesterday afternoon on eastbound I-44 near Miami. 2 Turnpike workers were on the shoulder near exit 313 when a semi veered off the road and hit them. The OTA says Zach Reinhardt, a heavy equipment operator and Veneta volunteer firefighter, was hit and killed. Authorities say Reinhardt was picking up trash along the highway. The semi then struck an OTA vehicle, which had the other OTA employee inside. Now, that employee was critically injured and transported to an area hospital for treatment. The other worker was in the truck and was taken to the Joplin Hospital. The Ottawa County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Department hopes to use a $250,000 grant to make improvements to the agency. The funding assistance grant is a program through the state attorney general's office. Now, last week, the Ottawa County Commission voted to approve the sheriff's office plans for the grant funds. Sheriff David Dean says the agency plans to use the money to replace aging patrol vehicles, have department issued firearms, and to install 3 license plate readers.
It's absolutely amazing, because without it, we wouldn't be able to buy what we're buying, because our budget is low. The only thing we can't use this money for is salaries. So any equipment, anything that's broke that we need fixed, we can use it for.
Now, the sheriff says this is a grant for the department. He hopes to receive it every year. Funds from last year were used to purchase things like department stipends and ATVs for responding in more rural parts of the county. Let's head over now to Chris Warner for first weather.
Yeah, we're going to start with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Got some cloudy skies out there, but that does not stop it from heating up. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. You can see workers still out there near 15th and Rangeline. Just be prepared for some backed up traffic and potential lane closures this afternoon. Here's Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we have got our decaying showers out there. We've got this batch that produced a fair amount of heavy rain and some gusty winds around Nevada. It's now rolling off to the east-southeast toward Osceola and Stockton. We got a heavier shower here south of Iola, and we've got this guy over here in western Elk County as well. All this from our thunderstorms this morning, and all of this that's back behind it is eventually going to give us our additional thunderstorm chances a little later this afternoon, which do still have that level 1 out of 5 risk for damaging wind gusts. We also still have heat advisories in place across the area through 8 this evening. Now, where the clouds and rain have been, it kept it cooler, but we're starting to heat up. We're seeing some of those low 80s out there. So up there, heat index values not bad yet, but outside of that zone, already into the triple digits, hence those heat advisories. And even where you got the rain, you will start to heat up. We'll have eventually more scattered storms later today, mid 80s by 7, mid upper 70s by 11 o'clock. And as I mentioned, some of these storms could be strong. We'll go over the full details of that, break down the timing of these storms for you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, seniors at McDonald County High School got an early start to their morning as they watched the sunrise come up for their first day of school. Now, this is the last first day of school, excuse me. The seniors met on the high school's football field, taking pictures and enjoying donuts.
I'm excited for all the major events that are going to happen and with all my friends and family and all the fun things I get to do, but I'm going to be pretty sad to leave this place behind.
We are the class that it went through a lot of determination to get back to where we are now. That's what I really think of the 2026 class.
Now, in just 150 school days from now, the MCHS seniors will walk across the stage during sunset at graduation. Over at Missouri Southern, many students attended their first day of classes yesterday. Faculty and staff rolled out a warm greeting with a free lunch, games, and more.
Felt like a really long summer where we didn't have anybody here and, just barely seeing any students. So just getting to see them all back on campus and just get back into the swing of things is what's the most exciting.
It's been better than I expected. I was a little nervous this morning, but it was good.
Although a lot of students seem to enjoy outdoor activities, some opted to eat indoors just to stay cool. Northeastern Oklahoma students had the opportunity to meet the school's president on their first day of classes yesterday. The president says enrollment is up this year. We caught up with both the president and students to hear their thoughts and hopes as the new academic year begins.
Choose NEO because of the connectedness across campus, our faculty and staff that truly care about our students, not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom. That's going to be a focal area this year.
I really like their athletic training program and the way that they help out the kids and reach out to them and stuff.
Now, one of the things NEO says they are proud of is their esports department, as they have recently ranked nationally. An increasing number of ranchers in Missouri are starting to raise and sell Wagyu meat. Chris Bryant introduces us to one Southwest Missouri farmer who's proud of the pricier product he's offering customers.
Unique breed, ancient breed, and the full blood especially, they're a slower growing breed.
Warren Buffett once said, price is what you pay, value is what you get. The owner of JB Kobe Farms says for a cow to become market ready for him, it takes nearly double the time of an Angus, from 18 months to 3 years. And with that quality comes a higher price.
I would say probably double. There, you will see some Wagyu at Walmart and other places. It's a lower quality Wagyu, probably the 50% Wagyu genetics is what that is, but about double.
Sidney Long is the executive director of the Missouri Beef Industry Council and says the growth of Wagyu is about the farmers.
We view it as another way for producers to evaluate what works for their own operations and find another way to add value to their product.
Long says research shows customers are willing to purchase up when it comes to meat.
They're more willing to pay for a product that says that it is a breed specific. Wagyu is included in that, as well as Hereford and Angus. They're more willing to pay for that than just a steak that is sitting there on the shelf that doesn't have a specific claim associated with it.
And customers are willing to buy local.
Everybody deserves to know where their food comes from, and everybody's been interested in that. But we definitely have seen an increase in wanting to buy directly from a producer wherever they happen to find it, whether that is at a farmer's market or they happen to know a guy.
All prices vary on the quality and percent when it comes to Wagyu meat. Well, coming up, President Trump is pushing for a three-way meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in his bid to end the war in Ukraine. And later, we're making shortcut fruit crepes in the Mr. Food test kitchen. President Trump hosted Ukraine's president and several European leaders at the White House yesterday for talks about how to end the war with Russia, and came out of it with the next steps towards what the president hopes is eventual peace. Aaron Navarro has more details from the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said after talks with President Trump at the White House on Monday, the next meeting should include Russian President Vladimir Putin.
No, we don't have any date.
No date.
Have any date. We just conformed after this productive meeting with the President and then with all our colleagues, partners who confirmed that we are ready for a trilateral meeting.
Trump, Zelensky, and European leaders met at the White House for more than 5 hours. While they were there, Trump stepped out to have his own 40-minute call with Putin. Trump was captured on a hot microphone telling French President Emmanuel Macron that Putin is ready to make a deal.
I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? As crazy as it sounds.
The outlines of a possible deal are beginning to take shape, but there is still a lot of work to be done.
And I have a feeling you and President Putin are going to work something out.
President Trump has promised the U.S. will work with European allies to provide security guarantees to protect Ukraine from future Russian invasions. Though Secretary of State Marco Rubio says those guarantees come with a price.
Each side is going to have to make some concessions. And obviously land, or where you draw those lines, where the war stops, is going to be part of that conversation. And it's not easy, and maybe it's not even fair, but it's what it takes in order to bring about an end to a war.
Willingly giving up land will be a tough sell in Ukraine, but President Trump says Zelensky needs to be flexible in the negotiations. Aaron Navarro, CBS News, the White House.
And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Today's recipe might not inspire you to speak French, but it will have you saying, ooh la la. Stick around, you'll see what I mean.
And we're tracking thunderstorms increasing in coverage as we head into the evening and overnight hours. A full look at your forecast right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on what for at least some of us has already turned out to be a hot and muggy day despite all that cloud cover, which we can see downtown Pittsburgh. Again, we've had the cloud cover, we've had some showers, had some thunderstorms, had some gusty winds, but it's still just hot enough to be uncomfortable, and our heat advisories still continue through 8 o'clock this evening. So here's Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we've got this little shower here. It's northeast of Chanute, or just north of Chanute. We got a couple around Elk County as well, but what's going to be the next thing that starts to give us a few more thunderstorm chances is all of this. In fact, we'll drag a little further north here. All of this activity just east of Salina and northwest of Emporia that's going to continue to slide off to the south and east. We've got additional development. It's still way out there south of Hayes, but it's all part of the same setup that's going to bring in these scattered showers and thunderstorms. And you can see where some of these began diving south. This activity here just fizzled out pretty quickly. This little guy's trying. We've got the new development taking place over here around Elk County, but see all of that filling in. That will eventually dive into our area and give us those opportunities for some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms, which right now it's still a level 1 out of 5 risk, but it's across the entire area. This hasn't changed since this morning for the potential for damaging wind gusts around 60 miles an hour or so. So not every storm is going to be strong. Not every storm is going to have that potential to become even low grade severe, but the storms we do see, they each could have that potential. It's just not every one of them will do that. All right, so what we have out there, again, begins to die out, and then again, right around 3, 4 o'clock, it's pretty isolated at first, but we'll start to see new scattered shower and thunderstorm development. Initially through the evening as well, as you can see, a lot of it's really isolated. Our better chance comes with this thunderstorm complex, which at this point is still expected out in central Kansas, and it'll begin pushing into our area around 9, 10 o'clock tonight. It moves pretty quickly off to the south and east, and eventually it's into the Pittsburgh-Joplin area around midnight or so, and will continue to push off to the south and east, but it also begins to die out as it continues to sink south of I-44, and so eventually we'll just be drying out, left with some clouds as we start our Wednesday. Now by Wednesday afternoon, we're still going to be pretty toasty. It's still going to be pretty muggy, and that's the other thing is our temperatures, yeah, they're going to start to drop over the next few days, but it's still going to be pretty muggy, so our heat index values are still going to be not to heat advisory levels, but still uncomfortable. We could get some pop-up showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and then that's going to kind of wrap up our rain chances, at least for a little while. Heat index values today, even where you've seen the rain, still expected to climb around 105, maybe up to 108 in some cases. Tomorrow, our air temperature drops a bit, so heat index values will fall a bit too, but you can see still getting pretty close to the triple digits, and even into Thursday, it's still fairly muggy. More upper 90s, but we're still close to triple digits out there, just again because it's going to be so darn muggy. So for the rest of the day, again, still reaching highs, majority of us around the mid 90s, low 90s tomorrow, down to 70 tonight. Those scattered storms obviously continuing through about 2, 3 a.m. And then our temperatures after that, take a look, back into the low 90s, so seasonably hot heading into the weekend. Then we start to see our next round of possible pop-up showers and thunderstorms as we roll into the weekend and next week. And take a look at those temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, down into the low 80s, which means we could have some areas flirting with the upper 50s for lows about a week from now. So just think about it. I know it's hot, muggy, miserable now. A week from now, be a totally different story.
Looks great. Chris, thanks. Well, stick around. We're making shortcut fruit crepes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, if you want to go all out for brunch, but you don't have a lot of time to spend, then today's Mr. Food recipe is your new go-to. Howard is making shortcut fruit crepes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Henri. Today, we're making crepes with a south of the border twist. Since these aren't truly French, I guess I can take off the beret. Confused? It'll all make sense once I show you. The challenge of making traditional French crepe lies in the batter. It can be tricky to get the consistency just so. However, with the crepes we're making today, we don't have to worry about that. You see, rather than making the batter from scratch, we dip flour tortillas in a mixture of eggs, milk, sugar, cinnamon, and vanilla. Once they're moist, onto the griddle or skillet they go. We brown them on both sides, which just takes minutes. And unlike authentic crepes, every one of these will turn out picture perfect. After all the tortillas have been dipped and browned, we fill them with berries before rolling them up. Top them with a dollop of whipped cream and a bit of powdered sugar, and done. There you have it, a fancy-looking French crepe with a tasty shortcut twist. To get the recipe for what we call our shortcut fruit crepes, all you have to do is visit our website. You know, since they do look authentic, I think I'll wear the beret after all. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a raccourci, which in French means shortcut way, for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, still hot today. Heat index values could still reach 105, already are in some places. Scattered storms, though, will increase again in coverage as we head into the afternoon, evening, and overnight. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe with maybe some gusty winds out there. And back to seasonably hot temperatures heading into the weekend.
All right, Chris, thanks. Dad, what air for us later on today?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, what goes up seems to stay up when it comes to grocery prices. How experts say tariffs are now impacting Americans at the checkout counter. Plus, a newly formed alliance in Joplin is looking to unite local businesses and community members. And a fair at PSU is helping students connect with the community as they begin their fall semester. Join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, Dal, thanks. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.